You are standing in the parking lot, 5 grocery bags cutting into your fingers. The plastic handles have turned your skin white, then red, then a bruised purple. Your shoulders ache. Your arms tremble. A friend walks beside you, empty-handed, and reaches out. "Let me take one," they say. The words are simple. The offer is kind. And yet, something inside you recoils. "I'm fine," you hear yourself say. The words come out too quickly, too sharp. You grip the bags tighter, as if loosening your hold would mean admitting defeat. Your friend shrugs and walks ahead. You follow, step by painful step, refusing to acknowledge the sensation of blood leaving your fingertips. This is not pride. This is not strength. This is something else entirely. You notice it in other moments, too. When you are sick, fever burning through your body, you drag yourself to the kitchen to make soup rather than text someone for help. When you are overwhelmed at work, drowning in deadlines, you stay late into the night instead of asking a colleague to share the load. When you are heartbroken, you lock the door, turn off your phone, and cry alone in the dark rather than call a friend who has offered many times to listen. People admire you. They call you self-sufficient, independent, strong. They say they wish they could be more like you, able to handle everything alone, needing no one. But here is what they cannot see: the exhaustion that lives in your bones, the loneliness that hums beneath your competence, the way you lie awake at night, yearning for someone to notice you are struggling while simultaneously building higher walls to ensure no one ever does. You want to be cared for. You dream of it sometimes, being held, being tended to, being told you can rest now. But the moment someone tries to step closer, the moment someone offers genuine help, your body tenses, your jaw sets, your hands become fists. You bare your teeth like a feral cat cornered in an alley, ready to fight even the hand that reaches out to feed you. This is the paradox you live inside. You are simultaneously starving for connection and rejecting every morsel of care that comes your way. Independence is a virtue, the ability to stand on your own, to solve your own problems, to not burden others with your needs. These are valuable traits. But when independence becomes a fortress, when the word help sounds like an insult, when asking for anything feels like a moral failure, then it is no longer strength. It is a trauma response. It has a name. Psychologists call it hyperindependence. It is the wound that looks like armor, the survival mechanism that masquerades as self-reliance, and it is quietly suffocating you. There is a difference between independence and what you practice. Most people do not see it. You have learned to hide the distinction so well that even you sometimes forget where the line was crossed. Healthy independence sounds like this: I can do this alone, but if I need support, I will ask for it. It is a choice made from strength, not fear. It is knowing you have options, including the option to reach out. What you practice sounds different. It sounds like this: I must do this alone. Asking for help is failure. Needing someone is weakness. I would rather collapse than admit I cannot carry this by myself. For you, asking for help is not merely difficult. It is impossible. It is death. It is humiliation so profound that you would rather suffer in silence than speak the words, "I need you." You view relationships through the lens of accounting. Every interaction is a transaction recorded in an invisible ledger. When someone does something for you, you do not feel gratitude first. You feel debt. The sensation sits in your chest like a stone, heavy and uncomfortable, demanding immediate repayment. You cannot rest until the scales are balanced, until you have given back exactly what was given, plus interest, so that you owe nothing. This is why you prefer being the giver. When you give, you hold the power. You remain in control. You are the benefactor, the helper, the one who has it all together. But when you receive, you become vulnerable. You become the one who needed something. You become exposed. The word thank you tastes like ash in your mouth when you are forced to say it for something more than a held door. You replay the moment over and over, analyzing whether you appeared weak, whether you revealed too much need, whether you compromised your image as someone who requires nothing from anyone. So, you have learned to refuse. Before the offer is even fully spoken, you are shaking your head. No, thank you. I've got it. Don't worry about me. The words are reflexive now, automatic. A wall constructed in real time to keep care from reaching you. And here is what no one tells you about building walls. They work. They keep people out. They keep you safe from disappointment, from betrayal, from the sting of unmet expectations. But they also keep you alone. You stand at the top of your fortress, surveying everything you have accomplished by yourself, for yourself, without help from anyone. The view is impressive. The solitude is absolute. The cold is bone deep. You are safe here. No one can let you down if you need no one. No one can abandon you if you never let them close enough to stay. No one can fail you if you handle everything yourself. But safety, you are beginning to understand, is not the same as peace. Invulnerability is not the same as strength. And self-sufficiency, taken to its extreme, is just another word for isolation. You watch other people lean on each other. You see friends call each other in crisis. Couples share burdens without keeping score. Colleagues collaborate without fearing debt. It looks easy for them, natural. You wonder what they know that you do not. You wonder if they were born with some gene you are missing, some internal permission slip that allows them to be human, to be needy, to be held. They were not. They simply learned a different lesson than you did. They learned that people can be trusted. They learned that needing someone does not make you weak. They learned that love is not a transaction. You learned the opposite, and you learned it well. There is a reason your body reacts to help as if it were a threat. There is a reason the offer of support triggers the same response as danger. Your nervous system is not malfunctioning. It is doing exactly what it was trained to do. You learned hyper-independence the way all survival mechanisms are learned, through experience, through pain, through the accumulation of moments when reaching out resulted in nothing, or worse than nothing. Perhaps you were a child who called for comfort and no one came. You cried in the dark and the dark remained empty. You learned that your needs were inconvenient, excessive, too much, so you stopped calling. You learned to soothe yourself, to handle your own fears, to become your own parent because the adults around you could not or would not show up. Or perhaps people came, but they came with strings attached. They helped you, but they reminded you of it endlessly. Every favor became a weapon wielded during arguments. "After everything I've done for you," they said, and the words felt like chains. You learned that accepting help meant accepting control, accepting guilt, accepting a debt that could never be fully repaid. So you stopped accepting. You learned that autonomy was worth any price, including exhaustion. Or perhaps you asked for help and received incompetence instead. You needed something done correctly, and they did it wrong. You needed support, and they made the situation worse. You ended up doing more work to fix their mistakes than if you had simply done it yourself from the beginning. Your brain, efficient as it is, calculated the cost-benefit analysis and reached a logical conclusion. Other people are a liability. Depending on them creates more problems than it solves. The only reliable person is you. Or perhaps the worst possibility, you asked and they said no. Not once, but repeatedly. You learned that your needs were not important enough, not urgent enough, not worthy of someone else's time or energy. The rejection carved itself into your nervous system like a groove in stone. Your brain began to predict rejection before it happened, began to protect you from the pain of asking by simply eliminating asking as an option. Whatever the specific story, the lesson was the same. You are alone in this. The only person you can truly count on is yourself. Needing others is dangerous. Self-sufficiency is survival. And so, you adapted. You became the person who handles everything alone. You became exceptional at it. You built a life where you need no one, where you are the solver of problems, never the creator of them. You became the friend people call when they need help, but you never make those calls yourself. You became the unshakable one, the reliable one, the one who has it all under control. But beneath this carefully constructed identity lies a terror you rarely acknowledge, the fear of being seen as needy. The fear that if you reveal you have needs, you will be judged as weak, as pathetic, as defective. The fear that your value to others is contingent on your ability to give without taking, to support without requiring support, to be endless in your capacity and non-existent in your demands. Psychologists have a term for what you practice. They call it counter-dependency. It is the mirror image of codependency. Where codependent people lose themselves in others, counter-dependent people refuse to allow others in at all. Where codependent people have no boundaries, counter-dependent people are nothing but boundaries, walls so high that connection becomes impossible. Counter-dependency is rooted in a deep fear of intimacy. Not sexual intimacy, but the intimacy of being truly known. Because to be known means to reveal that you have needs. And in your internal logic, shaped by old wounds, having needs equals being weak, equals being unlovable, equals being abandoned. So you eliminate your needs. Or rather, you pretend they do not exist. You become a machine that requires no fuel, no maintenance, no care. You hunger, but you do not eat from anyone else's hand. You thirst, but you refuse the offered water. You bleed, but you hide the wound. This is particularly true if you were parentified as a child. If you had to be the adult when you were still small, if you had to manage your parents' emotions or household or siblings, then you learned a fundamental lie, that your role in relationships is to give, not to receive, that your worth is measured by what you can handle, not by who you are, that showing vulnerability would burden others, and you have already decided you will never be a burden. The parentified child becomes the hyper-independent adult. The child who learned that asking for help meant adding to an already overwhelmed parent's load becomes the adult who would rather suffer than impose. The child who had to be strong becomes the adult who cannot be anything else, even when strength is no longer necessary, even when it is slowly destroying them. Trust is the other wound that bleeds beneath your hyper-independence. You do not trust easily. You cannot. Too many times, trust has been a trap. Too many times, kindness has had a hook hidden inside it. So when someone offers to help you now, your first thought is not gratitude. Your first thought is suspicion. What do they want? What is their angle? What will they expect in return? You scan for hidden motives the way a soldier scans for landmines. You are waiting for the other shoe to drop, for the kind gesture to reveal itself as manipulation, for the help to come with a price tag you cannot afford. This is hypervigilance applied to relationships. Your nervous system, shaped by past betrayals, cannot distinguish between genuine care and disguised threat. It treats all offers of help as potential danger. It keeps you in a constant state of guard, ready to defend yourself against the possibility of being hurt again. And so, you reject help before it can reject you. You push away care before it can be withdrawn. You maintain control of the narrative by ensuring you never need anyone enough for their absence to hurt you. But here is the cost of this protection. You are carrying everything alone. Every burden, every sorrow, every overwhelming responsibility sits on your shoulders without relief. You are so busy being strong that you never get to rest. You are so determined not to need anyone that you have engineered a life of perpetual isolation. Your body is keeping score even when your mind refuses to. The exhaustion that never lifts. The tension that lives in your jaw, your shoulders, your stomach. The insomnia that comes from a nervous system that cannot shift out of high alert. Because if you are not vigilant, who will be? If you are not handling everything, what will fall apart? You are operating your nervous system in fight mode every day. Not fighting another person, but fighting for control, fighting to maintain your independence. Fighting against the human need for interdependence that threatens to make you vulnerable. This is not sustainable. Your body knows it even if your mind does not yet. The warning signs are already appearing. The chronic fatigue, the irritability, the sense that you are running on empty but cannot stop, because stopping means admitting you need something you have forbidden yourself from having. You tell yourself you are strong, and you are, but strength was meant to be a resource you use when necessary. Not a prison you live inside. Strength was supposed to serve you, not consume you. There is a word you have not allowed yourself to consider. It sits outside the binary you have constructed, outside the choice between complete independence and suffocating dependence. The word is interdependence. Interdependence is not weakness disguised as strength. It is strength that has learned wisdom. It is two people, both capable of standing alone, choosing to stand together. It is knowing you could survive on your own, but recognizing that survival is not the same as living. Think of architecture. A single column can be strong, bearing weight through sheer thickness, through bulk, through the determination to stand against gravity alone. But an arch is stronger. An arch is two columns leaning into each other, each one supporting the other, creating a structure that can bear more weight than either could alone. The strength comes not from isolation, but from the precise angle of mutual support. This is what you have refused to see, that needing someone does not make you weak, that being needed does not make them burdened, that relationships built on mutual support are not transactions to be balanced, but collaborations that make both people stronger. You have spent so long viewing help as debt that you have forgotten what it actually is: connection. When someone offers to carry one of your bags, they are not putting you in their debt. They are saying, "I am here. You matter to me. Let me be part of your life in this small way." And when you refuse, you are not protecting yourself. You are rejecting them. Consider this. You love helping others. When a friend needs something, you show up. You feel useful, needed, glad to be someone they can count on. The act of giving makes you feel connected to them. It strengthens your bond. You do not sit there calculating what they owe you. You do it because you care, because helping someone you care about is its own reward. Now ask yourself why you assume others feel differently when the roles reverse. Why do you believe that helping you would be a burden to them when helping them is a joy to you? Why do you grant yourself the pleasure of giving but deny them the same pleasure? Is that not, in its own way, a kind of arrogance, a kind of selfishness? You are hoarding the role of helper. You are keeping all the giving for yourself, never allowing anyone else the satisfaction of caring for you. You are making yourself into a black hole that only pulls inward, never releasing, never allowing the natural flow of give and take that makes relationships sustainable. When you refuse help, you are also refusing intimacy. You are saying, "I do not trust you enough to see me struggling. I do not trust you enough to let you matter to me. I do not trust that your offer is genuine." You think you are protecting yourself, but you are also insulting them. You are telling them their care is suspect, their motives are questionable. Their desire to support you is somehow contaminated. The people who love you are not keeping a ledger. They do not help you and then sit waiting for repayment. They help you because they love you, and love is not a transaction. Love is not a loan with interest. Love is the gift that asks for nothing back except the opportunity to give again. But you cannot receive that gift because you have decided that accepting it makes you weak. You have confused vulnerability with fragility. You have decided that admitting you have needs is the same as being needy, that asking for support is the same as being helpless, that being cared for is the same as being controlled. These are not the same things. Vulnerability is not fragility. Vulnerability is the courage to be seen as you actually are, rather than as the invincible person you pretend to be. Asking for help is not helplessness. It is recognizing that humans are designed for cooperation, that we evolved to survive through community, not isolation. Being cared for is not being controlled. It is allowing someone to love you in the way love is meant to be expressed, through action, through presence, through the willingness to share your burdens. You have built a life where you are safe from disappointment, but you are also safe from joy, safe from the deep comfort of being held when you hurt, safe from the relief of sharing a burden that is too heavy to carry alone, safe from the peace of knowing that if you fall, someone will catch you. Safety is not always the goal. Sometimes the goal is connection, and connection requires risk. The journey from hyper-independence to healthy interdependence is not a single leap. It is not a decision made once and completed. It is a series of small, terrifying steps toward a way of being that your nervous system will initially interpret as dangerous. You will need to retrain your body to recognize that accepting help is not a threat. You will need to teach yourself, slowly and with great patience, that vulnerability will not destroy you. You will need to practice something that feels impossible, letting someone care for you without immediately trying to even the score. The first step is so small it seems meaningless, but it is not. It is revolutionary. Begin with micro-asks. These are requests so minor, so inconsequential, that your nervous system cannot justify treating them as threats. Ask a coworker to pass you a pen when you could easily get it yourself. Ask a friend to choose between two options when you already have a preference. Ask a stranger for directions, even though you have a map on your phone. Ask someone to hold the door for you. Ask for a glass of water in someone's home. These requests feel absurd precisely because they are safe. There is no real need attached to them, and therefore no real vulnerability. But that is the point. You are not practicing vulnerability yet. You are practicing the mechanics of asking. You are teaching your mouth to form the words, "Can you help me?" You are teaching your body that the world does not end when those words are spoken. Each time you ask and receive, your nervous system gathers data. You asked, they helped, nothing bad happened. You are not now indebted for life because someone passed you a pen. They did not lord it over you. They did not bring it up later. The interaction was simple, clean, complete. Your brain begins to understand that not all help comes with strings attached. Do this often. Do it until asking for small things feels boring rather than terrifying. Do it until the reflex to say, "I've got it," has a moment of pause before it, a space where you can choose differently. The second step is harder. It requires you to sit with discomfort without taking action to relieve it. When someone does something for you, when they pay for your coffee, when they give you a ride, when they help you move a piece of furniture, you will feel the familiar urgency to repay them immediately. Your body will become tense with the sensation of owing. Your mind will spin with plans to balance the scales as quickly as possible. Do not yet. Instead, simply say, "Thank you." Let the sentence end there. Do not add, "I'll get you next time." Do not add, "Let me pay you back." Do not immediately offer to do something in return. Just thank you, and then silence. This will feel excruciating. The discomfort will sit in your chest like a living thing demanding to be expelled. You will want to fix it, to resolve it, to make the feeling go away by evening the score. Do not. Sit with it. Breathe through it. Notice how it feels. The tightness, the anxiety, the sense that something is unfinished. Notice that you are afraid something bad will happen if you leave this debt unpaid. Then notice that nothing bad is happening. The person who helped you is not angry. They are not keeping score. They are not waiting for repayment. They helped because they wanted to, and they are satisfied with your gratitude. The only person demanding repayment is you. Let yourself remain in their debt for a day, then 2 days, then a week. Allow the relationship to be imbalanced. Trust that there will be other moments, natural moments, when you can give back. Trust that love does not require immediate reciprocity to be valid. You are learning to tolerate being cared for. You are learning that accepting help does not trap you in obligation. You are learning that gratitude is enough. The third step requires even more courage. It requires you to let someone see you not just in need of small favors, but actually struggling. Not struggling in the past tense, where you can tell the story of a problem you already solved, but struggling in the present, where the outcome is uncertain and you do not have all the answers. Tell someone about a difficulty you are facing, not a difficulty you faced last year, a difficulty happening now. Share that you are overwhelmed at work, that you are worried about a relationship, that you are afraid of something, that you do not know what to do. Let the sentence hang in the air without immediately following it with, "But I'll figure it out," or "But I'm handling it." Just the problem, just the vulnerability, just the truth that you are human, and sometimes you do not have everything under control. Your instinct will be to minimize it as soon as you have said it, to laugh it off, to reassure them you are fine, really, just tired, just venting. Do not worry about it. Resist this instinct. Let them sit with your struggle. Let them offer concern. Let them ask if they can help. And then, if they can, let them. This is where the real transformation begins. This is where you discover that showing someone your unfinished, unresolved difficulties does not make them leave. It makes them lean in. It makes them feel trusted. It makes them feel closer to you, not burdened by you. You are showing them the truth, that you are not a machine, that you are a person, that you have limits and fears and moments of not knowing. And in showing them this, you are giving them permission to be human with you too. You are creating a relationship of equals rather than a dynamic where you are always the strong one and they are always in your debt. The fourth step is a shift in belief. It is perhaps the hardest, because it requires you to challenge a conviction you have held since childhood. You must begin to replace the belief that needing someone makes me a burden with the truth that the people who love me want to help me. Helping me is how they show love. When I accept their help, I am giving them a gift. Say it to yourself, even if you do not believe it yet. Say it when someone offers help and you feel the reflex to refuse. Say it when you are alone and exhausted and convinced that asking for support would be an imposition. Say it until your nervous system begins to consider that it might be true, because it is true. You are not a burden. You are a person worthy of care. And asking for what you need is not a sign of failure. It is a sign of trust. It is a sign of health. It is a sign that you are finally ready to let yourself be loved. You have spent years building a fortress, stone by stone, disappointment by disappointment. You constructed walls so high that nothing could reach you. You dug a moat around your heart and filled it with the conviction that safety meant solitude, that strength meant never needing, that love meant always giving and never receiving. The fortress kept you safe. It kept out the people who might have hurt you, but it also kept out the people who might have held you. It kept out betrayal, but it also kept out tenderness. It kept out disappointment, but it also kept out joy. You stand at the top of your tower now, surveying everything you have accomplished alone, and you are so tired. The weight of self-sufficiency is crushing you slowly, a pressure so constant, you have forgotten what it feels like to breathe without it. It is time to lower the drawbridge, not all the way, not recklessly, not to everyone, but to someone, to a few someones who have proven, through patience and persistence, that they will not use your vulnerability as a weapon, who have offered again and again to help carry what you bear, who have waited outside your walls not because they want to conquer you, but because they care about you. True strength is not the ability to carry everything alone without breaking. True strength is the courage to say, I am tired, I am overwhelmed, I need help. True strength is lowering your defenses long enough to let someone see you as you actually are, exhausted, uncertain, human, and trusting that they will not punish you for it. You are allowed to be a person, not a machine. You are allowed to have needs. You are allowed to be cared for. Being needed by others does not make you weak. It makes you loved. And needing others in return does not make you a burden. It makes you human. The fortress kept you alive. But it was never meant to be a permanent home. It was meant to protect you until you were strong enough to risk connection again. You are strong enough now. You have always been strong enough. Open the door.